Alright guys, we're back. We've just switched over our card because it was running out of space. So let's continue, Mike. You just finished about Hungry Dumpty.
And I'm back! Woo!
Right.
Anyway, so yes, Hungry Dumpty. It's in a deck which is, again, flipping up and flipping down. It's inconsistent because you might get all the things that flip down and then you run out of anything. That's what I hate about Genocide Jack, which is that one. If you get too many of them, I've had a field before, 1, 2, 3. That's 3 counterblasts just to attack. That is not happening. You're running out. So unless you run... It's the whole kind of getting all of these and getting all of these. I have nothing to flip damage down. I have nothing to flip damage up.
I think...
It's...
Personally, I think the idea is you use the counterblast, let it to attack, then you're hoping for those stand triggers so that you're getting 2 attacks out of that one counterblast.
I found myself a lot of the time swinging, hoping for a stand with here or whatever, or... Well, it's good. It's a nice... The only reason I'd like to run it is as 2, maybe 3 instead of the king, just to ride there, just save myself damage and then ride over it, or as a rear guard on its own to get over those poxy
11k Vanguards, but that's just it.
And then intercept because I don't have the damage.
It's one of those builds that's like, yes, it's a great card against 11k Vanguards, but as soon as you're not, it's like it's a waste of a card. It's a waste of the counterblast. You could have better units there.
I grit my teeth with the 10k thing, but anyway, speaking of 11ks, you got the Kung Fu Kid Bolter? Yep. You can tell this card's never been out the bloody folder. It's like, oh, card, woo, here it goes. Never seen it again.
It's one of those generic 8ks that get 3k when a certain effect is fulfilled. I think this one you have to have more rear guards.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, more rear guards than your opponent.
Yeah, so yeah, Novas. Yeah, rear guards more rear guards than anyone. Novas. Yeah, a very strange one. Cup Bowler.
I think he's Vanguard only, isn't he?
He is the Vanguard only. When things are when your rear guards are rested, it goes up by a K.
Ah, so he was one of the promos initially for Japan that followed on from Top Gun. He's the grade 3 that has the same ability.
The grade 3 was playable to a certain extent, not nowadays, but...
Yes, I know, but he's the one that copies his effect, essentially, just for that turn.
Yeah, it's a nice... Yeah, it had potential. If it was 10k, that would be potential. 9k, no. But
even then, I'm not too sure.
It's the whole
Vanguard only.
The thing is, no one's going to guard the Vanguard at grade 2 anyway. If they are...
Unless they're golds. Unless they're golds, mate.
Unless they're golds, because I don't want, Spring Breeze to hit. Yeah. And I left this one to last, and it ties in with the grade 1. If you could pass over.
Whoop.
Yeah, I left this to last because I want to talk about these together. So apologies for that cut, hopefully, of this dog coming into the room. But yes, the Beast Deity series. Ashura Kaiser is when you drive check a grade 3, you restand Nova Grappler unit. Now, these, as rear guards, in a build like that, you get them to your hand rather than drive checking them. You don't want that. You don't want that at all. And you're never going to be able... The idea of Beastie, having even said the effect, is when it hits, you check the top 5 cards and search for a Beast Deity, Azure Dragon among them, reveal it to your opponent, and then put the rest to the bottom of the deck.
In any order.
In any order. So it's you could do the whole go through your deck thing, but that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen in an overbuild.
That is true.
So
that's a way. The problem is with the grade 1 that one is exactly the same as the grade 2. It needs to hit the Vanguard.
It needs to hit the Vanguard.
It's not when it boosts.
6k is not going to hit the Vanguard that early. Unlikely. Basically, this is for a Beast Deity build. People put it in a Ashura Kaiser build. You shouldn't do that. Because they want to get the Azure Dragons, they want to get rid of their grade 3s in their decks, so they don't drive check them, but you want to drive check them as a Ashura Kaiser. It wins you games. This deck, the idea of this deck is you neg your opponent via restanding. It makes you waste cards on the hand because you're attacking multiple times. That is the Vanguard, the Nova Grappler's strength. It is the restanding ability. It is the pressuring your opponent with powerful attacks.
Agreed.
With some that don't even need boosting. But yeah, the grade 2 is more playable than the grade 1, I'd say. But even so, the attack power is just poor. It is beyond poor. 9k you can deal with. 8k you can deal with if it's an interceptor. But 7k is just never going to happen.
The only good thing, in my opinion, is when you're able to restand it. But the problem is you really need to restand it with the booster. Hence, it's the idea around searching for Azure Dragon in the first place, doing the Persona Blast, standing the whole column.
Yeah, but again,
for another one.
The whole thing about Azure Dragon's Persona Blast is it has to hit.
Yes. Now,
and
it's going to be
good. Not a lot of people.
It's going to be good come set 9.
Yeah.
With the rest of them.
Obviously, if you see these out and about, I'd advise picking them up because there will be a Beast Deity cross ride coming out. So yeah, it's
okay in my opinion.
It means it's playable. If they're commons, if you see them in someone's trade binder, go for it. But anyway, moving on.
It's grade 1s.
Grade 1s. I said 6K was appalling. 4K's even worse. The idea is people went, oh, behind Genocide Jack, it's fine. 15.
Any grade 3s.
Any grade 3s? No. It's a 4K, and when it hits, you're able to restand it so long as you have a Nova Grappler that it boosted.
Yes. I think you're giving it too much slack here. It's an okay card.
It's an okay... I could see someone throwing 1 in, if that. But seriously, you imagine riding that as your grade 1. You imagine the horror of what you would get as a attacking next turn.
Personally, I think that card in particular and its Spike Brothers
counterpart,
the Assault Squad, they're past its time. It used to be good when Vanguards were 10Ks, but now you're starting to see 11s crop up everywhere. Cross rides are nearly coming out for every clan. So it's not going to be a good card.
Yeah, it's a very combo-orientated card, basically, which ties in with Queen of Hearts. Queen of Hearts is the card that has 6k, and when it boosts King of Sword, it boosts it from 16 to 20, which again...
I really like it.
Yeah, I know.
Had to cut in there.
I actually have always been tempted to take out the Dancing Announcer Shouts for the Queen of Hearts. But, one, it's 6k, which...
But that doesn't affect your deck much, in my opinion.
Well, it does, because I run a lot of 9ks, so with the 7 behind it, it gets to 16, it gets past those 11k barriers, which is always nice. I don't need to focus on it, I just know it's there.
I know, but if you're thinking of taking Dancing Out Shout out for those two, then it's only 2 cards. You're only running the 2 6ks.
Yeah, but again, it's the amount of times the Dancing Announcer Shout saved me. It's personal preference in the end, but it's a nice combo. But again, I'm fearing it's going to be past its time, so as 11ks become...
Yeah. 20k just won't be
20k it'll become renowned, and you won't be able to do anything. But we've talked about Play-Doh mechanic already. It's the whole play it, flip up 1. People play it instead of shout, but that's only in a heavy counterblast deck, and I don't heavy counterblast, so I prefer the consistency. And on Mighty Reporter, it's a generic 6k. When it hits, you bounce it back to the hand.
It has to boost.
It has to boost, and it has to hit the Vanguard as well. So, well, for those 3 reasons, I'm out.
It's not Dragon's Den, then.
But yeah, rather than talking about all the stand triggers and all that, it can pretty much be summarised with 1 card. Battle Riser! Now this, as a starting Vanguard, people go, it's 1 extra grade 2 or something you can run. No. The idea is that you neg yourself 1 because it's moving back and it goes back to the deck. You've now lost a booster simply because you wanted your...
Damn dog. Hello, dog.
Simply because you wanted to run Battle Riser as your starting Vanguard, you've now lost a card. The Beast Deity starting Vanguard is all you need. White Tiger is all you need.
Yes, for your current build. Now
the perfect Riser would be... it's going to be awesome for this card. You move it back, leave it, then it comes back, you've got it.
This is where the stand triggers come in my opinion, and I think Mike agrees. Obviously, they're named Riser, so it goes with the deck. But you've also got Turbo Riser, another stand trigger that has the same ability.
Yeah.
So that's 8 triggers. You've got a critical trigger called Minimum Riser. That's your trigger line up there and then.
Yeah.
Don't need the draws. You don't worry about field presence in that deck. It's all about the Vanguard, and it's overpowered on its own with that crit. That's the way you pressure, not with field presence, just with the Vanguard.
Which again, you don't need the field presence, so this is why it's such a good deck. But yeah, sorry for repeating myself. It's just distractions in dog form. Yeah. Now, stand triggers obviously work with Genocide Jack and whatnot. As I said, it's definitely a...
Sorry.
Aaron. It's definitely a good build. Because you have 4 stand triggers at least now. I know for a fact you can run all...
Battle, Turbo, Lucky Girl, and...
Lucky Cat. Yeah.
It is a cab, it's Lucky Girl.
Lucky Girl is a cat. Anyway, there's 4 of them.
You beat me to it.
Yes, I beat you to my folder. Yeah, we missed one from the latest set then. Right, basically, you've got...
Battle Riser, Turbo Riser, your 2 risers, awesome. Lucky Girl, that's a cat. And, yeah, the one we missed, Red Card Dealer.
And...
Oh, yeah, and the one
Cannonball.
3, 6, 7, 3, Cannonball.
Yeah, the point being,
wow, that's a lot of stands.
You've got plenty of stand triggers. Now, people just max out stand triggers and just go immense. I'm sorry, but the fact that you can restand with pseudo triggers in the grade 3s is all you need in this deck to catch your opponent by surprise. You can also catch them by surprise because people assume you run stands, stereotypically. Not so much anymore, but especially my locals, because they know I don't, which is rather infuriating. But anyway, Battle Riser. It's not a great starting Vanguard until Perfect Riser. I highly recommend White Tiger. It's 5k. You don't need anything more behind your Vanguard. That is a +1 when you ride your grade 1.
And
end
it
of story.
stays there for most of the game.
But then again, you could be saying, oh, you can just drop it as a rear guard. 6k booster, recycle. Back to the...
Careful, dog.
Back to... Can we stop talking about that dog? Back to the, deck. It can come back again. Yeah, but your attack order's messed up, for starters. And, it's a waste of a guard. In the end, at the end of the day, Novas can't afford to neg themselves to luck out even more. It is a luck-based deck in terms of the grade 3 checks and whatnot. You just got to be very careful. So yeah.
Anything else you want to say, Mike, or are we all done?
I don't know.
I think you've gone through every Nova card a bit too much in detail there.
Well, this is what I wanted to do. It's looking at what other people do. It's just I wanted to go through everything. I wanted to go through the deck analysis. I want to talk about the deck. So this is all you need to watch. Just stick to this channel, and we'll update you with more of these things. I hope you enjoy listening to me and Aaron at times.
Hey, I'm only here to help. It's your show here.
Yes, my show.
Well, okay, guys, that is our little segment that we've done today. Hopefully we'll bring you some more of these. Please comment, rate and subscribe to our channel and tell us what you think of this segment that we're doing. And hopefully we'll bring you some more. If you have any ideas for what we can do to improve... Yeah,
any messages and whatnot, just send them our way. And we'll either get back to you in a message or we'll take on what you said and even... pursue whatever you asked. So between us, we run pretty much every deck.
Every deck, and Yuri, who's not here.
Yeah.
Because he's at uni.
So unfortunately, there are a few we can't run, but majoritively, we would be able to do this with any deck. Just throw us a line, we'll give our opinion and whatnot.
Yes.
Also, obviously, check out the Vanguardian podcast on the Podomatic. Podomatic.
Yeah.
.com, is it?
Yeah, we'll put a link in the description for you guys.
Okay, I'll leave that to
you can link to their YouTube channel, which they've only just started up as well.
Yeah.
We're occasionally guests on their podcasts, but I think it's becoming more regular.
Yeah, I should be a co-host.
Co-host.
Co-host. I'm not the cat.
Sub-manager.
I'm sub-host. But anyway, that's Mike signing off.
Aaron signing off. Thanks again, guys, for watching.
It's been Team In Game, and I'll
catch you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.